revenge worth a paycheck or getting in trouble at your job? Sometimes. It might be. We'll be the judge in today's video. Hope you're having a great day out there. I got my lemon water hydration station, but drink whatever the hell you want. And if you're drinking alcohol, have 2 and 1 for me. Well, have 2, but one of those is for me. Cheers. I had a picture of my mom and me on my desktop. This guy, Pat, kept commenting on how hot my mom was. He was about the same age as her. He did this for about a month, so I asked another guy at work what Pat's daughter's name was. She is around the same age as me. Found her on Facebook and asked her if she would help play a prank on her dad. I then went out on a date with his daughter, took a picture of the 2 of us drinking out of the same drink with 2 straws, and proceeded to put it in a heart-shaped frame on my desk. Finally, I got another manager to tell Pat that I had gotten a new girl and was head over heels for her. He came straight to my office. I didn't say a word, and all I heard from behind me was, "What are you doing with my daughter?" To this day, he hasn't asked when my mom is calling next. This is genius. This isn't even just like petty. This is like the ultimate, you went above and beyond. You went a whole prank. That's hilarious. Daughter was in on it. That's so fun. A little risky, but a little fun. The guy beside me at work used to tease me about random stuff, so I grabbed a spare keyboard and plugged it into his PC, which was easy to obscure since his desk was a jumble of wires. Throughout the day, I would hold down the shift key while he was typing. It was especially effective when he was trying to type his password, as he couldn't see that I was messing it up. That's so smart and creative. I would never think to do this. I'd lock his PC when he turned around to talk to coworkers. Every time he'd leave his PC, I'd turn on the caps lock key. When I saw that his email client was open and he wasn't looking, I'd open a new email message. He'd mumble, "Crap, who was I writing to?" On the day I got busted, he unplugged all the USB cables, found the extra cable, and yanked it. The keyboard it was attached to flew across my desk and slammed into a bookshelf, and I started laughing hysterically. Y'all, some of you are so creative out here. You are savage, you are creative, and I love it. I love it. I don't know if I would take the risk or the time and put in the effort to be this petty, but kudos to you. Coworker, who shall not be named, never shuts up. Like to one-up people, they are loud, gets upset very easily, and likes to pull rank on people when he has none. So at 7 a.m. PST, that is so specific, 7 a.m. PST, because I need to know the time code. This morning, I placed a small Bluetooth speaker in the, I say HVAC, but I feel like people are gonna criticize that, but whatever, HVAC duct above his head, and have been playing Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees on repeat since then. It's only barely audible and only he can hear it. So far, this is his discovery. This is so funny. 7:30 a.m. I noticed him stop, look around, close his eyes, and seemingly try to listen for something. He shook it off and continued talking. 8:15 a.m. He mentioned a car driving by, playing some music that sounded familiar. No car has passed by. 8:45 a.m. Started humming the song after I turned it down. 9:30 a.m. Asked what music I was playing on my computer. Came over, searched, found nothing. Looked at another coworker who just shrugged, went back to talking. 10 a.m. I turned up the music when he was around the corner. He came running back. I turned it down. He asked the customer, "Did you hear that?" Customer said, "Hear what?" He shook his head and ignored it. 3:02 p.m. This is quite the jump. We are at the end of the workday here. He broke down and confronted us, shouting stuff like, "I know you are doing this," etc. But he has no proof. He's now just sitting outside, smoking and pouting. Wow. I feel like you would think you're going crazy if this was happening and you couldn't figure out where the sound was coming out from. I'd convince myself that I was losing my mind. I'd have to go to a clinic after work. I'd be like, no, something's happening. I'm literally hearing things. I started working in a photo lab for a popular store a few years ago, and I was trained by a girl who always made me feel really nervous and constantly complained about everything I did. Anyways, at the end of the night, I would have to remove this film rack out of the film processor and put it in a bowl of water to keep the rollers from drying out. In the morning, when she would open, she would take it down from the shelf by the sink and put it back in the film processor for the next day. In my own form of petty revenge, I began to fill the bowl each night exactly to the brim. Then I would set it on the very edge of the top shelf, which was just out of her reach. In the morning, she would have to stand on tiptoe to get down, and inevitably, the water would slosh down on her as she fumbled with the bowl. She yelled at me in passing a few times, but I kept it up. She started putting up signs that said not to fill the bowl all the way or not to put it on the top shelf, but I ignored these and would cackle to myself a little each night as I did this. It is such a petty revenge, but I really got a kick out of hearing other coworkers tell me how she would storm out of the lab in a huff with water dripping down her face and a damp shirt every morning. A few times, it really just toppled down and soaked her completely. It warms the cockles of my heart. This is so petty. That's a lot of pettiness to keep up every day too. Like, I get you maybe like do it a few times, but every single shift, that's petty. And you know what? You are fully admitting it, so all right. As long as you can admit how petty it is. When I worked at a pizza place, we had to do boxes. They came as a stack of flat cardboard with the creases and perforations, and we had to fold them up and then have them ready. Everyone was responsible for doing this. If you didn't have anything to do, you fold boxes. One of my coworkers hated doing them and would constantly wait around while someone else folded boxes, then deliver them to the front, aka take credit for them. As if they folded all of the ones that they brought to the front. I see what you're doing there. Another coworker got petty and started intentionally denting the boxes so they looked crushed. That way, when Lazy Butt took them to the front, the boss would yell at him for effing up the boxes. It was fun to watch. I mean, shame on you. Yeah, I would do that because that's annoying. Don't you dare stand there and do nothing in the back and then walk up front with the finished product as if you just spent the time doing it. Absolutely not. Not on my watch. I am in full support. I worked with a god-awful employee who made my work day miserable. Didn't do her job, wasted company time, went through my belongings, moved my desk, and ultimately got caught stealing company property by me. I got her fired, then got a raise and promotion because of it. The best part is that all of this was done in front of the whole sales team and all the managers, about 20 of them. They all watched this happen and they all watched her be escorted out of the building. I mean, right when you said went through my belongings, the whole thief thing, the stealing, not so surprised. I was gonna say, red flag. There's a middle-aged lady in the office who for some reason was mean to me when I started. She would make up bad stories about me and even shouted at the whole office once that I had such a bad attitude that I don't deserve to be here and cursed at me. She sounds like a lovely lady. This morning I had just gotten into the elevator when I saw her enter the lobby. She was bringing a lot of things with her. Her hands were full, and she shouted to hold the door for her. I just pretended to push the open button as I watched her run for it, but oopsie, it closed before she reached it. Both our areas are on the 4th floor. Minutes later, she arrived at her desk panting. Turns out it took a while before my elevator came back down and the other elevator was closed for maintenance. So she decided to just use the stairs. She kept staring daggers at me and talking about how annoyed she was. But oh well, at least she got some morning exercise. Are you one of those people that just genuinely like hate anyone in the elevator with you? I've seen TikToks of people fully admitting that they just hit the close button because they don't want to share an elevator, like with anybody. I've actually never ever intentionally done that. I always try to hold the door, especially in my condo, because I'll have to like see them again, you know? I put glitter in my coworker's air vents because he drew a PP, a male part, I can't say it, on my rear windshield. Keep in mind, I live in AZ, which is Arizona, and you use AC most of the year. I'm just trying to think, okay, they drew a wiener, I should have just said wiener, on your car, which will always show probably. But you put glitter in what? Their vehicle air vent? Like, how did you get in? I got so many questions. How did you even get in there? But honestly, I think I would rather have the wiener on my car than the glitter in my air vents, because glitter is impossible to clean. Impossible. So I will take the wiener on my windshield. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Last May, we got a new employee. He would constantly disappear and come back clearly high and slouch around doing nothing to help. Don't you love stoners at work? So I fabricated an online customer review in which he called a customer a C-word. And he was fired immediately. Oh my God, you got this person fired? So you went online, made a fake customer review where you claimed that he called the customer, fake customer, a C-word. That's bold. I feel like you maybe just should have said like, hey, I think this guy's just high and he's not doing any work. Like, can you chat with him? I used to work the night shift at a hotel. Part of my duties included stocking sodas in the gift shop. I quit because of an incident with the manager who was a Bond villain caliber of evil. And in my last week, I violently shook about 10 sodas and put them in the gift shop fridge at random. Ooh. I feel like some hotel customers are probably going to get the brunt end of this, as they will be the ones purchasing. And then, yes, the manager will probably take the heat for it, but also that sucks for the innocent customers who just want a sip of pop. Simple. I posted an ad on Craigslist for an insanely good deal for a 42-inch plasma. Then I left my coworker's office number, cell number, and email as ways to get in touch. Lather, rinse, repeat. That would drive me absolutely nuts. Imagine texts, calls, emails from a bunch of strangers about a product you didn't even post, doesn't even exist. I'd be so mad if anyone gave my number out. I don't care what it's for. All right, guys, let me know. Are you picking petty revenge, or are you picking I am risking the job or the paycheck? What team are you on? I'm out of here. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.